Welcome to Rugby Park for the first live stream of 2018. James Tadassel here with you. We're currently running a little bit behind, so we've just got the back end of the Dragons Palmerston game, where Palmerston are leading 12-7 with 13 minutes to go. Cougars Souths game about to kick off in about 15 minutes time. Palmerston on the attack, inside ball. Palmerston have scored. Takes the score to 17-7 with 12 minutes to go. Apologies for the failure to stream the Palmerston Dragons game. There's a little technical hitch, but we're up and running now. Hopefully we're live on YouTube and live on Facebook. On field 2 we have Pirates playing Swamp Dogs. They've already kicked off. Kicks hit the uprights. Score remains 17-7 and we've got 11 minutes to go between Palmerston and the Dragons. Penalty for offside, and then another 10 metres for back chat. So there's Palmerston with a penalty here, 15 out. They've called for a scrum. Good crowd rolling in here at Rugby Park. Joining me tonight in the, I suppose you call it a commentary area, commentary box, we've got Shep, President of Cougars. Welcome, Shep.
Thanks, James. It's good to be here with you.
Mate, while this game wraps up, we've got 10 to go. Do you want to read out your Cougars first grade team to take the field tonight?
Yeah, sure, mate. So this evening, going from 1 to 15, we've got Andrew Stevens, or AJ Stevens, at number 1. Number 2, we have Josh Phillips. And 3, we have Jonathan Hogan. 4, we have Stephen Boober. And 5, we have Tanela Mizioko. Number 6, we have Cody Bowman. 7, we have Daniel Jarman. 8, Mitch Andrews. 9, Shane Crowley. Not sure if I said that right. No, 9, yes, yeah. And 10, we have Zach Phillips. 11, we have Peter Igo. And 12, Mitch Cull. We are leaving 13 blank. We're running a bit shy on the backs this evening. 14, we have Jack Rochford. 15, Cooper Seguiaro. Now 16 into our reserves, we have Jeremiah Offamaoni. In 17, we have Owen Griggs. And in 21, we have Ash Duckling.
Thanks, Shep. I'll go through the South team tonight. Yeah, front row we have Al Foster, Bryn Templeman's the captain at hooker, and Jack Lawrence. Second row, Jordan Fazy and Brett Joyce. On the side, David Boyle, Tom Hiramatsu and Frankie Kiyotau at number 8. Billy Burns at halfback. Barawiri Wilson will play number 10. On the wings, Abeli Atanasia and Lai Kerisai, who wear the 20 jersey because he couldn't fit into the 14. In the centres, Vinnie Mann and Darren Colton. Fullback is Dallas Penatito. And on the bench, we have Tom Asioli in the 16 jersey. Asafe Havia in 19. Gordon Perrott in 18. Brody Drager in 14. And Jake Ranger in 21. Setafana Thakao is unavailable tonight. We'll get him over later on during the game for a bit of Q&A. And the coach is Brad Hunt. And oh, look, the clock stopped. So we're not actually sure how much longer to go in this game. I reckon it's 5 or 6 minutes. Currently 17-7 still to Palmerston, with the winner to go to the top of the table. Briefly. full time finally. We're running about 15 minutes behind. The Crocs have beaten the Dragons 17-7 in a tight tussle. Nice conditions here at Land Rover Rugby Park, Shep.
Yeah, a little bit moist on the ground. It's a bit slippery, as we've seen on previous couple of games here. It's, ball's hard to hold on to, but it's certainly nice and cool for a change. It's sort of lovely this weather.
Yeah, it's nice. I think this early start to the season will test out the bit of support there for South. We'll test out the ball handling. There was a lot of drop ball last week. A bit of moisture, new footballs as well.
Yeah, it certainly makes it difficult when we run around with a few new balls.
Bring back the Gilberts, I reckon, but yeah,
most certainly.
St Army, great sponsors.
They are great sponsors. I don't.
Good win there to Palmy. They beat South last week 20-7 in a tight one. Numbers are looking up for both teams. Dragons will be disappointed about that one after beating Swampies last week, but good start to the season from both clubs.
A lot of new faces across, especially the Palmerston team there in particular. It's an early start to the season, certainly brought out a few different players for all teams, I think, this year.
Yeah, it has. There's a few rugby league guys running around. There's even a couple of AFL guys running around. It's good to see. I know there's some INPEX workers involved in most clubs, but yeah, it's good. We can see Greg Tobin down there. I'm sure that the Dragons are missing him with his knee injury.
Yeah, most definitely.
Certainly a lot of new faces there, Shep, with Palmy. There's about 3 blokes singing the team song at the moment, but I'm sure they'll get to know that 2 from 2 already. New coach as well, Les. I met Les a couple of weeks ago. He looks like he's doing a good job.
Yeah, certainly a lot of improvement to be had on the team song front. But if, as you said, if they keep this winning streak up, then they'll certainly know it very quickly.
I don't think Souths have sung their song since the 2016 Grand Final. Something that new coach Brad Hunt is looking to bring back to the club.
Yeah, most certainly. It's a tough one when you're not singing it very often. Casuarina had a very dry spell quite a number of years ago, and we didn't sing it for many years, and then we had a very hot trot. Everyone got to know it really well.
Yeah, we just find it hard to get the Fijians to learn how to sing. They're not partial to a rugby song. Can sing a nice hymn after a game of footy, but maybe that might be the compromise for Souths.
Yeah, slow down the pace of the song a little, mate.
Just waiting for the teams to take the field. We do apologise for the late start. Probably suit our Western Australian viewers. Bulla to all those in Fiji who stayed up late to watch this. I think our cameraman's also told us that we're live on Facebook. So if you go to the NT Rugby Union Facebook page, we'll be live on Facebook. Looking for 3,000 or 4,000 views, I think, Shep, for this game.
Yeah, most certainly. It is the game of the round and warrants at least 3,000 views. Yeah. And to be streamed across both YouTube and Facebook is certainly fantastic in this day of an age of technology.
There's a healthy crowd in tonight. Not many over in the one steel stand, just the one there, one guy on his own. But obviously the bar facilities over this side. There's probably 500 or 600 in at the moment, and 200 or 300 over on the other field. So good crowds for NTRU early on.
Certainly is a good atmosphere here this evening.
Apologies again for the late kick-off. Teams are about to take the field. We are running about 20 minutes behind due to the previous game. So no score yet, no kick-off. Just waiting for the two teams to take the field. I see an ex-South player there, Jack Briggs, is watching from Melbourne. G'day Briggsy, and congratulations on the newborn. And to Dom.
So I take it the newborn's the reason why he's sitting up late in Melbourne to watch the delayed stream in Darwin?
Yeah, we might just wait for Briggsy to answer that one for us. That's good, Briggsy. Good to see that you're sharing the duties there with Dom, modern day father. Excellent, mate. And g'day to all our viewers down in Victoria, where rugby is growing at a rate of knots, no doubt.
It certainly is. I played down in Victoria back in 2005, and it was a very different scene down there then to what it is nowadays. It's with the Super Rugby team that's been brought on, and it appears we have movement. We have the players taking the field.
Teams have taken the field. The referees out there. We're going to have some action. South just taking the field in their traditional green jersey and their new shorts this year. Shep, what do you think, mate? Red shorts.
Mate, certainly very lively. You can't miss them, that's for sure.
New sponsors on board for this year's South Snap Fitness. So we've gone the Snap Fitness themed red shorts as their our short sponsor this year. So yeah, I think it looks all right. G'day to Griff out there in Snapland.
Certainly getting some great sponsorship exposure there, that's for sure. It's the size of some of those shorts, mate. Certainly
Yes,
well played spot.
Yeah, Jack Lawrence is giving great exposure to Snap Fitness. Here comes Cougars taking the field.
Led out by Zach Phillips this evening.
Very close to kick-off. You'll have to excuse us all. It's myself and Shep's first time commentating. We'll have a crack. We'll get some guest commentators throughout the game, hopefully. And yeah, feel free to give us some feedback on Facebook.
Yeah, certainly do welcome your comments. Good, bad or otherwise. Probably prefer a little bit less of the otherwise.
Just before kick-off, I've got a gentleman here, Pat Robinson. He's joined Souths this year. Just played his second game of rugby today. Pat, what did you think of that, mate? You're an AFL man.
No, it was much better. I like the physicality and didn't mind running over the top of a few blokes today.
Half-time speeches, mate, you generally finish with, I don't know what the hell you blokes are talking about.
That's
mate,
pretty
that'll
much
come.
not just half-time, that's training, that's game day, that's everything in general.
Awesome, Pat. Thanks, mate.
No worries, boys. Have a good night.
Cheers to that, Pat.
Cougars
Certainly doesn't have the physique of an AFL player, that's for sure.
His first game last week at Palmerston, 30 out from his own line. He put up a nice up and under. Zach Phillips has the ball in his hands, about to kick off for Cougars. Cougars running towards Abella Road. There we are, we're into it. Brett Joy's hitting that one up. Brett's a new player to the club this year. Jordan Fazy charging into the D. Jordan's part of the 2016 grand final winning team. Had last year off.
Oh, nice. Slick
Alice
hands
Penatito down the sideline.
Oh.
South's maintaining possession. On to their third phase. Brett again with another good charge. Billy Byrne slotting in at halfback this year so far. David Boyle, Eric Johnson medalist, with his first touch of the game. And Cougars get the penalty, not releasing. Some good D there, Shep.
Yeah, it certainly was a good spread from the Casuarina team. Over the 7 phases we just rolled through, South had good momentum and drive forward, but solid defence from Casuarina.
Mate, I noticed on social media during the week, Zach split his head open last week. Has he been talking about that in training and how many stitches he had? And
Oh, most certainly. With most of Zach's injuries, we certainly hear about them, and he's very quick to show them off, and a very big social media fan. Casuarina have won the line out. AJ Stevens takes that to ground. Crossfield kick from Zach Phillips, chasing touch, and he's found touch. It's a nice kick there. First up from Zach.
Dallas Penatito at fullback today with Setafano out ill. It's his first game for the year for the Rabbits after a pretty heavy 7 schedule with the Mozzies. Bit of a messy line out there. Souths eventually secure the ball. Jack Lawrence slotting into halfback like he likes to do.
We have Cooper Seguiaro, fullback for
Souths.
Casuarina this evening.
South chases offside there, penalty to Cougars.
certainly is a tough one to get through some of the bigger boys' heads that they have to retreat after the kick. We found we had trouble with that last week as well.
Mate, good to see Jake back refereeing. Did a few games last year, and after a few years away from the game.
Yeah, certainly is. He's a very talented referee, and it was great to have him back here and helping out with the great short line out there from Casuarina. We've lost a knock on from Ash Duckling. Scrappy play. And unfortunate.
Looks like a little
offside.
accidental offside penalty Souths. It'll be a relieving penalty to clear it out of their own 22. It
was a very good kick there from Souths. Brings them out to just over their 40-metre line for the line out.
Another scrappy Souths line out. They'll need to fix that up.
Ooh. There's a knock on there after a fairly solid tackle.
Yeah, it looks like Brett Joyce has had a... Looks like he's banged his head in on the ground there. Trainer's out to him now. Cougars have got the ball.
Yeah, certainly not in a great way. The South number 5. He's in all sorts. He's seeing certainly plenty of people in front of him at the minute.
We may see our first blue card tonight, Shep, which is a concussion call when there's a knock to the head.
Yeah, certainly it's a great safety feature for the game, the new blue card, and certainly in this instance I do believe it is warranted. He's not looking off. Great, and unfortunately, viewers, you're unable to see this at the minute, but yeah, we've just had a South player leave the field for a concussion. Unfortunately, that's probably his game for this evening.
Probably the end of his night. Now, coming on to replace Brett will be a new guy to the club, Gordon Perrott. He's got some experience over in the UK. A big, tall, mobile, lanky lock that had his first game today in B grade and impressed. Stepped up into the front row when required for 10 to 20 minutes. And he'll be... we'll test his fitness out tonight now, coming on with 73 to go.
Certainly a big shock to the system coming from the UK here to the tropical north of Australia. And test anyone's fitness out, let alone having to double up for a second game.
South ball, 30 out. Gotta clean up these line outs.
Another fairly scrappy
Not
line
overly
out
convincing
and not straight.
Jake's called that not straight.
It's certainly not easy in these slightly greasy conditions to get that ball in straight at times, and we certainly found it difficult last week from a Cougars point of view to get our lineouts correct and on a short pre-season.
Yeah, Souths have got a very experienced hooker this year, Bryn Templeman from. He's a Kiwi he's been living in Burralula for the last 18 months and came at the back end of 2017 and had a few games. Very talented, experienced player. Obviously struggling with the moisture.
Great clearing kick there from Zach Phillips. A relieving kick for Casuarina. Just shy of the South 40-metre line.
Shep, I don't see Sam Batty out there. Is he on the bench, or is he away this weekend, or is he injured? Or?
Unfortunately, Sam Batty suffered an injury on Thursday evening, much like myself, and had to sit out this game. And
that's a better line out from South. They've gone to 6. Nice straight, direct throw. Al Foster there, just losing his footing.
Very good ball retention there from South.
Billy
Nice
Byrne
little
with the box kick. A belly on the chase.
It's caught Casuarina. Yep.
Oh, he's put a foot out.
Oh, it's unfortunate for Cooper Seguiara in his first game at 15 for the Cougars.
So tell me a bit about him, Shep.
So Cooper, he's a young fellow who's just come down to our club this year. As I said, his last name's Seguiara, and famous last name, I suppose, around the NRL, not so much the rugby, but he's brother to James Seguiara, who plays in the NRL. Certainly as much talent as his brother. He's a very quiet young man. It certainly will be great once we sort of get him into the club a bit more, and he learns the plays and the phases.
Another scrappy line out saw Cougars win that ball. South's got it back, and now Cougars have got it back. So both teams struggling with the handling at the moment.
And quick cap there from Zach Phillips, trying to move the momentum down the field.
Knock on by Cougars. Tommy Hiramatsu is away, and he'll score.
Great
First
try.
points of the night to Souths after once again another turnover. That's probably we're probably looking at a dozen turnovers there at the moment, Shep, for both teams.
Yeah, certainly are.
Sorry, Shep's just updating the scoreboard. We're both new to this. 5-0 to Souths. 10 minutes in. Tom
There we
Hiramatsu.
The replay, blinding speed from a flanker. It is certainly something you can't coach, is it? It's great to have that speed off the side.
He came to us and started on the wing, and we watched him at training and his work at the breakdown, and we gave him a go on the side. And 2015 and 2016 he was outstanding. He was away training for the Navy last year, which saw him play for the Defence Force at the National Sevens in Bendigo. And Tommy actually got he got a mention from Michael O'Connor, who's a Aussie Sevens current Aussie Sevens talent scout. So Tommy got a rap from Michael after the Sevens event as one of the top 3 or 4 performers on the weekend. So yeah, South's very lucky to have him back. He's been posted back to Darwin, so we'll take him.
That's very good. A great pickup for Navy as well.
Yeah, we'd like to see him play for the Mozzies, but good on him.
Yeah, certainly. It's not an easy team to crack into, the Australian defence team.
Wirry Wilson, another new player to South. Let's just push that one wide.
It was well taken by Bryn Templeman there off the kick-off, and great strong run from Bryn. Brings him back nearly to the halfway line. Another strong run, but unfortunately caught holding on. It's a great turnover there by Josh Phillips. Very strong over the ball. We have the touch judge just coming to have a word with Jake. He's obviously seen something off the ball that we haven't.
Touch judges come in. Jake's talking to the captain, Bryn. Let's get on with it, eh?
I certainly didn't see anything untoward there, James, at all. Obviously, Simon, the touch judge, has seen something that didn't tickle his fancy.
Generally, it's usually something around the head, neck. You know, that's what they're looking for now. The assistant referees. They're looking for those neck rolls and that sort of thing in the breakdown.
Certainly a very big emphasis on safety and head safety in particular from the ARU the last couple of seasons, and obviously with the introduction of the blue card, which we've seen issued this evening, it's certainly great for the game moving forward.
South have pilfered that one. Cougars were on the attack there with that line out. South will look to clear here through Rawiri Wilson. That's up over the halfway. Fantastic clearance there.
Very good clearing kick. Especially with the narrowness of the kick he had to work with. It was a great kick for touch.
Shep, mate, Bobby Nurse, I don't see him out there. Is he still away? I know he was carrying a few injuries through the hottest sevens and the sevens program as the captain of the Mozzies. You boys would be certainly missing him.
Yeah, most certainly missing Bobby Nurse. It's not through injury, unfortunately. He's had to head home for a family emergency or tragedy, and we'd look to have him back in the next few weeks, we do believe. And certainly are a bit lost without our fearless leader. He does bring an awful lot to the team, both for Casuarina and for the Mozzies.
He's a good footballer.
Very good footballer. Still only a young man as well, so he's got plenty more rugby left in him, and certainly hope that he does stay here in the territory to play out many more years.
And what about young Kybin? Kybin injured himself just before the hottest sevens. He did quite a bad hamstring injury. Is he back soon?
Yeah, Kybin Barnes, he tore his hamstring in the lead up for the Mozzies in the hottest sevens. We're looking to bring Kybin back in another 3 weeks' time. That'll be about 6 weeks for that injury, and he's going to look to run in the next couple of weeks, but certainly be another great bolster to our numbers. Certainly in the back line, it'll be great.
So Souths have pilfered that line out, cleared it from their own 22, and they've called that taken back.
I'm not 100% sure on that one, unless the ball did cross the 22 and taken back. I didn't quite see whether South had possession over the 22.
And they've stolen another one. And Simon said that made 1 metre.
Yes, well, certainly bewildering some days, that's for sure.
We guarantee this won't be another 65 minutes of bagging referees. We love them, they do a good job.
Oh, they certainly do, and
we
appreciate
job.
All they do.
I'll tell you what, since Robbie's taken over, he's got a good crew together. We had a young guy doing the assistant referee's role in B grade over on field 2 this afternoon. Did a fantastic job, held his nerve, was copping a bit of flack from both sides, but mate, he's got some good young juniors coming through to referee and officiate, which is good.
A strong run here from Zach Phillips to get Casuarina within 5 metres of the line. And Jake has spotted another penalty towards for Cougars, this one. Not quite sure if they'll go for another line out given they've lost the last 2 or 3. But
not sure what that motion was for that ruling. Well, they've gone the line out, Jep.
Yeah, it's certainly not our strongest facet of the game at this point in time of the season, but traditionally Casuarina have had a very strong forward pack, and from this position we would always look to drive over.
Cougars making a substitute there. Who's coming on there, Shep?
We have Owen Griggs taking the field and coming on for Jonathan Hogan. Owen with a wealth of experience. He's a former Mozzies player himself, and great addition. He's half the size he was about 12 months ago as well.
Mate, good to see Bobby Nurse joining us on Facebook.
All the way from New Zealand, I believe.
I hope you heard us talking about you, Bobby.
He's another one that may be up with one of the young fellas. A couple of new parents amongst the Casuarina team as well. Shout out to all the people with this young family and who are sitting back watching the rugby and getting their children
about live streaming. Cougars on the attack, 20 out.
So,
Oh,
great tackle.
Solid contact there from Bryn Templeman. I think, has Bryn just hit his work colleague, Milky Phillips?
I do believe so.
They've been at each other for... Oh, Dallas avoids the tackle.
Poor attempt at a tackle there from Jack Rochford. Great covering defence from Mitchell.
Here we go, another loose pass from Souths off the ground there from Dallas. Darren's unfortunately knocked that on, and we've got a Cougar scrum just inside Souths. Just inside South's territory. There we go, the cameraman's gone to the replay. We'll see this pass off the ground and just slipped over as he went to catch it there.
It's unfortunate, isn't it? The
Darren Colton.
Slightly damp conditions that lose your footing. In that instance, on a strong attacking run from South. Very slick in the outside backs.
Yeah, there's some good outside backs again this year for the Rabbits. Very lucky to have Darren. He was heading to Brisbane to play rugby league and it didn't work out for him. And another Mozzie Sevens rep. A lot of talent. A lot of talent.
Certainly good to see a lot more of the talent sticking around in the territory these days, and we're not losing so much South for when they do start to hit a bit more of that quality time in their career and chasing bigger and better things from a rugby point of view.
Big Al Foster packing down for his... Oh, here we go. Props are having a chat to each other. Big Al Foster. A well-known name in rugby league circles in the NT and out west Sydney. He loves the Rabbits. He loves the Union. He's having his third game in the front row and holding his own.
Coming up there against Owen Griggs, and who's certainly not one to take a backward step, that's for sure.
Owen's won that battle. That's a short arm scrum penalty there.
Owen, a very technical front row.
This will be interesting if they tap and go. This will be like one of those rugby league tap and goes when there's been a scuffle. Here we go.
Andrew Stevens running straight head on into the defence of South and driven back quite a few metres. Given to the flying winger, Pete Ego, and I'm not quite sure what sort of steps that was, but certainly ineffective.
Tackler there, not releasing, trying to go for the ball. Mate, young Mitch Cole, he's done a bit of training with the Mozzies and did some testing, and mate, he's another defence guy.
Yeah, he's another Army fellow. He's 19 years of age. He's certainly well developed for his age, and very strong kid, and certainly has a big future ahead of him with the Cougars as well.
He played for your Cougars side in the Hotter Sevens? He
did. He played for the 65 Roses Cougars and was one of our better players, and certainly one of the fitter players, that's for sure. We had a few older blokes in the team. But he's certainly very, very solid centre for us, and we'd be looking to develop him into our number 12 on a permanent basis, I believe.
Oh, Bryn Templeman on the charge. He's throwing a dummy. He's offloaded to Dallas Penatito. Dallas hits Darren. Darren drags that in, finds a belly on the inside. A belly's beaten 2, 3, come across the cover. I think a belly will get there. He's under the posts.
Very good try from South.
Yeah, great counter attack there from Souths.
And here we'll see the replay. Very slick hand movement there.
Bryn Templeman bringing out some of his sevens form there with the big dummy. South take a 10-0 lead. And we're just over a quarter of the way through the game. After that try, we can just see our big Fijian front rower, Tommy Asioli, taking the field, giving Al Foster a well-earned break. Tommy was the star in our 2015 B-grade premiership team. He played a big part in the 2016 A-grade premiership team as well. Tommy's up here working from Newcastle in New South Wales. He comes up and does 6 or 7 months a year, and it's great that he can have a run around. And South's Rawiri's converted that from in front, and it's 12-0 with about 16 minutes to go in the first half. Shep, who's ended up playing in the centres there tonight?
We have Milky Phillips out in outside centre this evening. Certainly not a slick-looking 13, that's for sure.
Oh, mate, I saw Milky do the testing with the Mozzies as well. He was pretty good over 10, 20 and 40. A strong character.
Certainly very strong. He's a judo background, fantastic over the ball, very strong core. And,
here we go.
Cooper Seguiaro with a great run down through the middle.
And a little knock on there from Souths on the pilfer. Great speed there from Seguiaro.
Fantastic speed. He's
off the mark.
Very good talent and identifies space early and is not afraid to have a crack up the middle. May find himself slightly out of position in defence at fullback, given it's his first time back there. Casuarina's star fullback, unfortunately, injured this evening.
Yes, a big loss, Shep. Will he play for the season? Is he? I'm assuming he's got a league background. Is he affiliated to a league club? Or
don't believe so at this point in time, but yeah, we certainly
fantastic.
Got him signed up for the season, and really looking forward to. We have a penalty here for collapsing the scrum.
Penalty there at the scrum. Jack Lawrence asking the question. I don't know what that signal is. Jack Lawrence will always question a scrum penalty against him. An absolute stalwart, Jack Lawrence. Loves his rugby.
Zach Phillips going to take the kick for line and push it down into 5 metre line. Casuarina looking to drive over. And this year we have Ash Duckling, another defence member throwing the line out this evening. The pilot, I believe, for the Army, and another good pick-up for Casuarina.
How good is it seeing the defence guys come out and play? They've got their own great facilities. At South last year we had 11 US Marines running around. It just helps boost the sport and the clubs, and it's good to see.
It certainly is, and from a defence background myself, I'm 11 years in the Navy, and it was a fantastic time to. It brought me up to the territory and brought me down to Casuarina, so it's certainly a great way to boost the numbers for all the clubs here. The transient nature of the territory is hard to find fit young men, but with defence, it's a great asset.
Here we go. There's a breakout. Here's a loose pass from Cougars. Souths have kicked it through, and Vinnie Mann just a little knock on there as he's tried to pick that up. Once again, moisture, wet season, February, but I'll probably say Tsunami footballs. I don't like them. I'm not a fan, Ship. I love Tsunami. We buy our kit through Tsunami.
Yeah, certainly a fan of their kit. And, everything bar their footballs, I am in agreement. They are terrible. Brilliant to kick, I must admit. They do come off the boot well, but that's about it.
Will, if you're watching over there in Hong Kong, we love Tsunami, but would you let us use Gilbert's, please?
The best Tsunami ball I've played with was Hotter Sevens and start of 2017 with yellow Tsunami balls. They were fantastic. They were the best balls I've played with the Tsunami brand on them.
Oh, Zach with a
There we
big
go.
up and
Booming
under.
kick.
That'll test Dallas. That's going to
A little too
roll
big.
and roll and roll, and Cougars will hope that doesn't go dead, and it doesn't.
Certainly a very big kick from inside his own 22 to end up in the dead ball line of South.
So this will be a Souths 22. Coach Brad Hunt looking to make a substitute. We've got young Brody Dreger coming on for not sure who. Brody's another new player to the club, out at Impex. He's got speed to burn, just had his first game in B grade this afternoon, and he's come on for Gordon Pirrett. So I'm not sure where Brody is going to be playing. South of... It's a loose ball there by Cougars, and we have a knock-on to Cougars after that little 22. South feed just inside their own half.
Everyone's fairly slow to get to the scrum here with 10 minutes to go in the first half.
So Brady's gone to the wing. Lai Keresai comes into the pack. I'm not sure he's had too much experience in the pack. He's going to number 8. We might watch for a little inside ball here to a belly Atanasia in the pink headgear. Oh, lovely ball from Rawiri Wilson, and Abelli is away. And he'll score under the post. That's a fantastic try. Great decoy there by Vinnie Mann. We'll see that in the replay.
It's a great play there from South.
Watch this little decoy here by Vinnie Mann, and Abelli picks it up. Just stop the defence in their tracks slightly, so Abelli to use his pace to get through.
Very difficult to defend a play like that. Fantastic play. That brings the score now to South 17. Cougars still yet to score with a kick to come. And certainly back him in from this close, Joe.
Yeah, I think he'll get this one. Yeah, Raza, he's an interesting character. He came to Darwin last year and came and watched the semi-finals and saw an interest with Souths and sent us a message through the social media, and came straight down to training in December, and he's been a great pickup for our club for sure. You look at the successful clubs over the last few years; they've had a solid, steady number 10. You know, yourselves with Zach, Pirates with Robbie Butcher. I think a big part of our grand final win in 2016 was when Tim Atkinson came in to 5'8" for the last half a dozen games. Just you need that control and that poise.
It certainly is a very crucial position, and one that Casuarina have been fortunate to pick up some very decent fly halves over the last 5 years. And you're certainly onto a winner there with Reary.
Yeah, I thought Zach was outstanding last year. He came pretty close to the Eric Johnson Medal Award.
Yeah, certainly played a lot of his early career in the outside backs, and has steadily progressed his way into fly half, and a very good talent, very cool, calm, collected character. And when we can keep him on the park, he's certainly one of the better players out there every week in, week out.
Yeah, he was certainly the difference in the major semi last year. I know he scored a couple of tries and his kicking game and just that patience.
We have an interchange there for Casuarina. Owen Griggs coming off and Jonathan Hogan retaking his place in the front row. It was a great 25 minute burst there from Owen Griggs. And we see we have Shane Crowley feeding the scrum this evening with Sam Batty out and injured. Probably the better place for Shane to be playing, seeing he's not super solid in defence.
Mate, tell me about Shane. He's obviously been with your club for a long time. He's a local Darwin boy?
Yeah, he's been here certainly many years, and certainly see his face all around town, and sick of seeing it on television as well.
Geez, he loves those ads, doesn't he?
Oh, certainly does. And one of the good things, viewers, is there won't be any of those ads on any of our live streaming, which is fantastic. So he can't infiltrate that. But, yeah,
Able Finance, they're great supporters of local sport. You know, that's why they're on TV, and we see them, you know, supporting the different codes, and
yeah, certainly
you need that in these sort of communities.
Most definitely, and Shane's certainly been with our club for many years. He's 100+ A-grade games, and certainly now well into his 30s, and still getting around and putting on a great performance for us as well.
There's a penalty to Cougars, so Al Foster there caught at the bottom of that tackle, didn't roll away, and disrupted the clearance from Cougars. Cougars with a penalty there. Jake's reffing pretty well at this stage. He's not, you know, referees aren't dominating this game, and he's doing his job well.
Yeah, certainly, and keeping a great control on the game, and we did see almost a flare up in one of the scrums there earlier, but he's certainly able to calm that down and see a great game out of everyone. Very cool, calm and collected character out there on the field, Jake. He's certainly great to play with while he's reffing.
Can we expect a crash ball here from Milky? Short arm there, so I'm not sure, maybe numbers in the line out. It's generally what that'll be for.
I'd expect.
Or pulling down a player, but here we go. Cougars on the charge, 10 out.
Big Mitch
2
Andrews
out.
with the attacking run.
Cougars will probably look to keep this tight.
This has certainly been an area that the Cougars have been very strong with over the years.
And we've got a penalty there for something.
Offside, I believe, for that one. Expect Big Mitch to wind up again for this one. He does love these in tight, the big fella.
I love these charges. Good D, they've held him out. Cougars tight here, 1 out, 1 metre.
Short on the light on numbers on the short side. Cougars have gone the wrong way there, I believe.
And another one. They could see a yellow card. What's he done there? Not releasing.
Not releasing.
Big problem with Souths over recent years. They love to pilfer. The game has changed where you need to take space. Let the attacking team have the ball. We've got an injury at the moment there. Looks like Al Foster's down. And we may see a substitution here. We're only 3 minutes out. That's the clock stopped. Jack Lawrence coming back on. Big Al's going to come off and just get that shoulder checked.
Certainly took the full brunt of the big run from Mitch Andrews there. He's certainly the first man in. What didn't shy away from the tackle, that's for sure.
Mel Brown, he looks like he's got a little stinger there. He'll come back from that in the second half. He'll have a break now, and then the 10-minute half-time break. And Cougars again on the attack. Oh, they've slipped just at the carry. Ball's gone wide. Dallas Penatito offloads to a belly. A belly on Seguiaro. Oh, it's a great tackle. Dislodges the ball. Fantastic defence from Seguiaro.
Cooper Seguiaro.
That's a crowd pleaser.
Certainly is. That's got everyone. Might blow to a replay of that one. It's certainly worth it.
Winnabelly, he likes to run around players, but sometimes he likes to run over the top. But he didn't get it right this time. Great defence.
Certainly didn't. Great positioning from Cooper there in that tackle.
Great technique there. That's one for the kids, Shep.
Certainly is.
It's all about the kids.
Tackle's much better at fullback than the bloke who's injured. That's
no,
for
you
sure.
might have lost your spot. You might be battling Milky for that centre position. Tuesday's training.
Yeah, that's right. Give it 3 or 4 weeks and we'll be back in the saddle and back on the field and work my way back up through B grade, no doubt.
Shane Crowley clears, and there's a big... he's not going to call that for a late tackle, surely. No, he's called a knock-on.
No. We have Milky for a knock-on there.
Well, that's a new... I like that ploy there from Zach. Put it up. Slippery conditions.
Yeah, certainly.
If you've got someone with a boot like him...
I've taught him that. Everything he knows in that department. It's certainly something I'd like to do is the up and under, bring it down with a bit of snow on it.
Yeah, that's why I go to training. I like to practice my up and unders.
Yeah, certainly is a great tactic in conditions like this. It's very hard to defend
We've got a little
against.
special guest here, Siggy Bubba. He's done a runner.
Siggy's certainly got a head for commentary, that's for sure.
Now, what's that signal there? Is that what they call boring in when he does that?
Yes,
I'm never sure with these scrums. It's a bit of a lotto, I reckon.
Well, it certainly is.
Wilson there finding touch. 5 metres into Cougars territory. This might be the final play, I would say, before half-time. Simon Scoble over there on the far side, assistant referee. It's good to see Simon back. I think he missed a few games last year with work. But South's ball. Souths they've cleaned up their line out. One out the back there. Vinny's dropped it. It's a double knock on, and I think that might be half-time.
Very unfortunate there.
Jake's going to play
very
it.
good movement there from the South back line.
He's going to play it. Okay. This is going to be a long night. Better text my wife and tell her I'll be home around 11.
Certainly makes it difficult.
She'll probably be watching.
Well,
Darling, I'll be home around 11.
Certainly going to make it difficult to get up early and go fishing tomorrow. We may still be sitting here close to midnight this evening. It's a late start to the game, and we certainly do apologise for that. There's a short arm there to Casuarina.
Another scrum infringement there, South.
Early engage from the South forwards on that scrum. Ooh, very crunching tackle there.
Not releasing again, Souths at that breakdown. Just trying to pilfer that ball. Just not being patient.
Zach Phillips will go for as much distance and bite off as much distance as he can in this kick. Put Casuarina down with attacking position with the last play of the game. A big shout out to Ryan Vidler. They're all the way from over the UK. He's unfortunately
He does have a sweet voice, Ryan. It's a good call.
Yeah, I guess it'd be good to see you back in Australia anytime they'll let you back in, mate. So we certainly like to see you back down the club. The boys certainly miss you. We'll get your visa right next time, mate. Oh, crunching tackle off the ball there from Mabele on Cooper Seguiara, who bounces back to his feet.
That's half-time. Half-time, South leading 19-0. Let's have a look at that little replay. So Cougars looking to go wide, cutting Milky, and he's got a little tap on it. I'll say play on there, Shep.
Yeah, certainly touch and go is a very solid tackle.
South's leading 19-0. That's a good half of football.
Certainly was. Quick tap there from Zach Phillips. Highlights here. Trying to move the momentum down the field. Some great plays throughout the game.
Knock on by Cougars. Tommy Hiramatsu is away and he'll score.
There, just jumping on
First
a
points of the night.
loose ball. We talked
South's
about
after it once again. Another
loose balls from both.
turnover. That's probably Dallas avoids the tackle.
Poor attempted a tackle there from Jack Rochford. Great covering defence from Mitchell.
There we go, another loose pass from Souths. Off the ground. Dallas Downs unfortunately knocked that on. And Templeman on the charge. He's throwing a dummy. He's offloaded to Dallas Penitito. Dallas hits Darren. Darren drags that in. Finds a belly on the inside. The belly's beaten 2, 3. Come across the cover. The belly will get there. It's under the posts.
Very good try from South.
Ball here to Rebelli Atanasio in the pink headgear. Oh, lovely ball from Rawiri Wilson, and the belly is away. And he'll score under the post. That's a fantastic try. Great decoy there by Vinnie Mann. We'll see that in the replay. They've slipped just at the carry. Ball's gone wide. Dallas Penitito offloads to a belly. Belly on Seguiaro. Oh, it's a great tackle. Dislodges the ball. Fantastic defence from Seguiaro.
Cooper Seguiaro.
That's a crowd pleaser.
Certainly is. That's got everyone. We certainly like to see you back down the club. The boys certainly miss you. So we'll get your visa right next time, mate. Oh, crunching tackle off the ball there from Mabella. Cooper Seguiaro who bounces back to his
half time.
Quick tap there from Zach Phillips. Trying to move the momentum down the field.
Knock on by Cougars. Tommy Hiramatsu is away and he'll score. First points of the night. The Souths after it once again. Another turnover. Dallas avoids the tackle.
Poor attempted a tackle there from Jack Rochford. Great covering defence from Mitchell.
Here we go, another loose pass from Souths. Off the ground there from Dallas Downs. Unfortunately knocked that on. And just inside Souths. And Templeman on the charge. He's throwing a dummy. He's offloaded to Dallas Penitito. Dallas hits Darren. Darren drags that in. Finds a belly on the inside. The belly's beaten 2, 3. Come across the cover. The belly will get there. It's under the posts.
Very good try from South.
Ball here to Rebelli Atanasio in the pink headgear. Oh, lovely ball from Rawiri Wilson, and the belly is away. And he'll score under the post. That's a fantastic try. Great decoy there by Vinnie Mann. We'll see that in the replay. They've slipped just at the carry. Ball's gone wide. Dallas Penitito offloads to a belly. Belly on Seguiaro. Oh, it's a great tackle. Dislodges the ball. Fantastic defence from Seguiaro.
Cooper Seguiaro.
That's a crowd pleaser.
Certainly is. That's got everyone. We certainly like to see you back down the club. The boys certainly miss you. No, we'll get your visa right next time, mate. Oh, crunching tackle off the ball there from Mabella. Seguiaro who bounces back to us.
That's half time.
Quick cut there from Zach Phillips. Trying to move the momentum down the field.
Knock on by Cougars. Tommy Hiramatsu is away and he'll score. First points of the night. The Souths after it once again. Another turnover. Dallas avoids the tackle.
Poor attempted a tackle there from Jack Rochford. Great covering defence from Mitchell.
Here we go, another loose pass from Souths. Off the end there for Dallas Town. Try and knock that on. Templeman on the charge. He's throwing a dummy. He's offloaded to Dallas Penatito. Dallas hits Darren. Darren drags that in. Finds a belly on the inside. A belly's beaten 2, 3. Come across the cover. I think the belly will get there. He's under the posts.
Very good try from South.
Ball here to a belly Atanasia in the pink headgear. Oh, lovely ball from Rawiri Wilson, and the belly is away. And he'll score under the post. That's a fantastic try. Great decoy there by Vinnie Marn. We'll see that in the replay. They've slipped just at the carry. Ball's gone wide. Dallas Penatito offloads to a belly. A belly on Seguiaro. Oh, it's a great tackle. Dislodges the ball. Fantastic defence from Seguiaro.
Cooper Seguiaro.
That's a crowd pleaser.
Certainly is. That's got everyone. We certainly like to see you back there in the club. The boys certainly miss you. We'll get your visa right next time, mate. Oh! Crunching tackle off the ball there from the belly. Cooper Seguiaro who bounces back to his half time. Quick cut there from Zach Phillips. Trying to move the momentum down the field.
Knock on by Cougars. Tommy Hiramatsu is away and he'll score.
And welcome back after the half-time break there. There's certainly some great highlights of the first half.
Second half about to kick off. Swamp Dogs have just scored on field 2. There's about 20 minutes to go over there, and Pirates are leading 21-14. So a nice close one over there, Shep.
Yeah, certainly. We had a close one last week with Pirates, and they're a very, very sizable outfit this year. It'll be interesting to see how Swamp Dogs go later in the season. And
we're just waiting for the referee. Both teams are out. Rawiri, or as Channel 9 called him on Thursday, Rory. Very popular with his workmates here tonight, all yelling out Rory. He's about to kick off. A new recruit for Souths, Shep, just arrived this morning from Egypt. Asafe Havia. He just looks like he's taking the field for the second half. Comes with a bit of experience. Plays 1, 3, 6 and 8.
all the way from Egypt.
He's a Kiwi that's been travelling the world playing rugby.
Half his luck.
Nice if he can do it.
Certainly is.
And on this cool night, he's told me he didn't realise how hot it was in Darwin, so he'll probably get a rude shock in a couple of weeks.
There's a great falcon there from Milky Phillips. Great way
Offside
to use his head.
Offside Souths.
An early reliever there for Casuarina. A good clearance there from Zach Phillips. And line out on the 40 and lost by Casuarina.
Billy Byrne taking that into the thick of things.
And the new rules, that was a maul. He's retained possession.
The Safa Havia wearing the 19 jersey. Keep an eye out for him. South's a bit flat there to go wide.
Still outside Casuarina Cougars. Poor defence on their part.
Keeps his feet. Cougars make the tackle. A loose throwback, and Cougars on the counter.
Shane Crowley has actually made a tackle. It's we have footage of it. It's the first tackle in history.
Referee playing advantage. Great feet from Seguiaro.
Gifted player, very, very gifted young man.
Jake still playing knock-on advantage to Cougars.
Box kick there from Shane Crowley.
And I'm not sure why that is not play on. It is in most other competitions, but it's the way Jake sees it. No advantage.
A few players out there for Casuarina doing some additional stretches.
Oh, there's Bats. Bats is running water there. If our cameraman can just zoom in on the... Sam Batty. Well, that's not Sam Batty. There he is.
Yeah, Sammy, a great stalwart for Casuarina. Certainly doing great.
That looks like Aaron Ruddock.
Once another great stalwart for Casuarina. Sam and Aaron are around the same vintage. But Aaron certainly hung up the
late
boots.
20s.
Yeah, late 20s. How much did they pay you, mate?
Not sure what happened there. I thought that was a full arm, but there's a big up and under. It might have been another one of those short arm scrum penalties. There's another knock on to Souths. Another turnover, another stoppage. It's a bit stop-start. Souths really need to not let that ball bounce.
It certainly is a key playing at the back is to attack all those balls and get them on the full. Something that some of these younger players are not quite attuned to and don't want to put their body on the line at times.
Cougar scrum just on halfway. Shane Crowley feeds.
Very dominant scrum there from South.
Zach,
retaining
yeah,
possession.
looks like Zach. That reaction from Zach, I think he's put that out on the full, and he has. He's not happy with that, Zach.
Usually very precise with these kicks, Zach. It's a rare mistake off the boot.
He knew that one as soon as it left the boot. He knew that was out on the full. Tommy Hiramatsu snavels that one. Frankie Kyoto taking it up out off the first 5. Goes to ground. Frankie, another Defence Force player.
Collapse maul there, the Cougars ball.
One thing about this stop-start February game, it'll be some good fitness for the front rows, packing a few scrums.
Certainly will be. I had some experience there in the hotter sevens recently. It's the first time I packed into a scrum, and I certainly don't ever want to do it again, to be quite honest. I've got a lot of respect for the
front row in the sevens.
Got a lot of respect for the boys that do it. And after that experience, coming up against the Borneo Eagles and some of the Fijian teams in the hotter sevens, it was certainly a fair strain to the neck and shoulders.
I'm not sure what I was doing playing sevens, let alone in the front row.
Yes, I think sevens was about 5 years ago for me. I really should have hung up those boots many years ago.
A bit of lip there from South. South just need to knuckle down and do their job and just let the referee do his. Oh, that's a great in from Dallas Penatito. The ball not quite going out. He's left his feet. Brody Dreger puts it onto the foot.
Great return kick there from Zach Phillips, and chew off a lot more ground. And Casuarina players,
a belly in open space here.
Questionable pass there.
It was questionable, actually.
Not sure Jared Hayne had caught a ball that far forward.
Great tackle again. Is that Milky? Is that Milky with
Certainly
a double
was
effort?
Milky.
Oh my God. Great run from Vinnie Mann. He's been quiet with the with the big turnover ball we've had tonight. Wilson just putting it back into the corner. Belly and Darren on the chase. That'll just sit up before the try line. That's a great kick. South's ball, 8 metres out. Good pressure there from South.
Very good
Mate,
kick.
we might have just missed the chance to replay Milky's tackle there, but that was a great effort.
Yeah, certainly was.
I'm sure Milky will go back through the live stream later tonight and have a look at that one.
No doubt. There'll be many people tagged in an effort like that.
That was good defence, Milky. Good stuff.
We don't need to give him too much of a rap. We don't need his head to look the size of the rest of his body at the moment.
We've been looking forward to this clash with Milky and Bryn working together at NTAU, and a lot of banter in the office over the last few months, and both playing in the front row, but Milky's ended up in the centres tonight, so that time will have to come in round 2.
Certainly will, I believe. Probably a good thing that both of the hookers will have their arms around each of their front rowers, so they can't throw a few quick ones up at each other.
Bit of headbutting.
Zach Phillips back in the pocket here for Casuarina. Shane Crowley looked to hit Zach Phillips directly behind the scrum for a clearing kick.
South must have knocked on at the line out there. Shane's put a little kick through there. Belly onto the toe. Cougars clean up. Cougars ball. Scrappy
knock
again.
On there from Casuarina. Number 3, Jonathan Hogan, unfortunately knocked that ball on.
A lot of turnovers. It's early in the year. A lot of clubs really struggle with their pre-season, with a lot of guys involved in sevens tournaments and away with work and away on holidays. But I think come March, April, May, the standard will lift, and
yeah, most certainly it does make for a very disjointed pre-season when we have the hottest sevens when it is, and with the bulk of our fitter players off with representative duties in the sevens, and it certainly doesn't have anyone there to drive some of the bigger boys in the fitness drills, that's for sure.
Belly looks like he's copped a little knock there. He's getting treated by Mal Brown. Big Gordon Pirrett comes back on for Souths and replaces Lai Caressi.
Certainly would hope that heat rub wouldn't go too far up on that leg. It's a very uncomfortable feeling as it rides up the leg.
He's thrown away his pink tsunami headgear that he had on show during the hottest sevens. A Belly playing for Tabadamo. South feed on the 22. Good scrum by Cougars. Frankie Kirto, good feed at the line, and he'll crash over. Out wide. Nice try to Souths there. Looked like Cougars might have had him in the scrum there. It started to twist a little bit. We'll just have a look at that there now on the Coca-Cola replay. Oh, geez, look at those two characters there.
Oh, terrible, isn't it? Certainly don't have a head for commentating or being in front of the camera, that's for sure.
Yeah, look, I couldn't get into my hairdresser last week, so I'm booked in for Wednesday to get rid of this bouffant.
Oh, mate, looking very sharp. Very sharp.
Righto, that'll do, hippie. Wilson here looking to put this over from out wide. He's a very patient goal kicker. Takes his time.
Struck them well so far this evening. It'll be a tough one to call, this one.
Coming around. No, it's just wide.
Very unlucky.
Score stays at 24-0. South Darwin over Cougars. And look who we found there in the crowd. It's Setafano Thakau. Seta's off tonight. He's a little bit ill. He doesn't look too sick there though. Seta has been with the South Club for a couple of years now, and a great contributor to the Sevens program around Australia with his Tabadamu team who come over from Fiji. Cougars kick off. Tommy Hiramatsu's just overrun that. Mitch Cole picks up a loose ball.
Knocked on there by Shane Crowley.
He plays on. He's playing advantage. This will be interesting. Seguiaro again makes the tackle. Rawiri Wilson has gone to ground.
Zach Phillips.
Vinny Mann picks up a belly again. A second effort. South, let's see what patience they've got. Cougars come through and steal the ball. No, South's maintain possession. He's picked up a big running forward in the middle. Billy Byrne has a little canter.
Two great efforts there from Zach Phillips on larger men.
Pick and drive from South. Cougars holding on. Jake's awarded that. Let's see who gets up from the bottom of that. It's David Boyle. It's our dual Eric Johnson medalist, David Boyle. Just pipping Zach Phillips at the post last year for the Eric Johnson medal.
Very solid effort there from South driving Casuarina over the line. And 29-0 with a kick to come. Certainly wasn't expecting such a lopsided scoreline with 25 minutes to go. South with a very strong performance this evening. It's great for the competition, I believe. We have 3 or 4 strong teams in the running, the hunt this year. It's, as we have in the last couple of years as well. It's been a great competition, and
yeah, it's going to be a real tussle for the top 4 this year. Yeah, Swampies have recruited, and they look like they're performing well over in field 2, and Palmerston 2 from 2. Pirates have started off where they left off last year.
Dragons with the first up win as well. It certainly is a tough comp, and Casuarina will be sitting on the bottom of the ladder, which is a
crowd like that one.
Certainly unusual for Casuarina to be the bottom of the ladder.
Takes the score to 31-0. We've got 25 to go. A little knock on there from Souths. The Cougars have got the ball, so it's play on anyway.
Solid defence centre field from the South fly half.
So Shep, you've obviously got a few players to come back in. When can you expect to sort of be happy with your full strength team? You know, next sort of 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, we've got
obviously Kaiban 3 weeks. He's a talent, isn't he?
He certainly is. He's yeah, for a young player, he's got some extreme talent, and but we're looking at probably in the next 3 to 4 weeks to have another seven or so top flight A-grade players back in the team, and certainly bolster numbers. And we've got a few new players who played in our B-grade team that'll certainly be pushing for A's, and who unfortunately couldn't stick around this evening with the later game. But
who's your fullback in B-grade? He was impressive today.
We got Ryan Graham. He's another defence member. He certainly is a very impressive young man, and we just need to get him down a little bit more and into training and develop that. And he's certainly an A-grade player, an A-grade standard, that's for sure. And always very safe at the back, whether it be 15 or on the wings.
Has he got a rugby background?
Yeah, certainly. He's been with us for the last 2 or 3 seasons.
Oh, okay.
Just sporadic. Obviously being with defence, Another great kick there from South. And Peter Ego with an up and under that didn't quite go up.
Is he a noted up and underer?
No, not at all.
Oh, Darren Colton there. He was nearly through. Loose carry. He's just dropped it on contact.
Cleaned up there.
Cougars
well
clean up. Jake's playing advantage. He'll come back for the scrum, I'd say. No advantage there.
Yes, Pete Ego playing on the wing. He's a forward. Typically, he's broke his arm last year at the pre-season, one of the pre-season games, and
you can see that strapping there. That's
he's certainly struggled with that. But
he's
this season, he's sort of looked to be a little bit lighter on and wanted to play a little bit wider. So we pushed him out to the wing.
And here's Big Al Foster. Can you just go back in there, Hippie?
And there we have Stephen Boober.
Al Foster coming on for Jack Lawrence. Good game from Jack Lawrence. And
Stephen
looks
Boober
like
coming
we've just
off.
had some cheers from the backfield. Full time has been called, and there's been some cheers from Swamp Dogs. We'll try and confirm a score. Possibly an upset on field 2, but don't hold me to that. Yeah, Siggy's just confirmed. Swampies have won that game. We'll try and get a score for you. Siggy will do that for me. So Swampies over the reigning champions, Uni Pirates.
Wow.
On field 2.
Certainly is a very big upset.
Swampies have won 14-10, so I've given you an incorrect. Yeah, I've given you an incorrect half-time score. Apparently 14-10. Here we
appears
go.
to have been an instant off the ball.
We've got a late hit here. I'd say Jake's going to go to his pocket. We'll have a look at the replay there. Not sure about that one. It looked okay to me. Tommy Hiramatsu here. Jake's gone to his earpiece. Oh, he's taken the legs out in the kick.
Taken the legs late on that one.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Very lucky to be still on the field, I believe, on this.
That's dangerous play there. We don't like to see that sort of thing.
It is very hard in that instance to pull out it, but it's certainly not great to attack the legs of a player kicking the ball. Line out win there for South against the throw.
Wilson will just poke it back down into the corner. South relying on a good kick chase here.
Oh.
There we go. Another argument for Gilbert. Seguiaro clearing. He's got to put everyone inside. All Cougars players must stand still. South will counter here. They'll go wide. Dallas Penatito.
That was a very poor attempt at a dive there from Milky
Dallas
Phillips.
Penatito. Oh, there's a loose ball. And there's a knock on from Dallas there.
That's unfortunate. It was a very promising run down the sideline there.
Mate, Dallas was a revelation for the Mozzies. He came to Brisbane in October and did his time on the bench and took his opportunities and was probably one of our best in Bendigo for the Mozzies at the Nationals.
Yep.
And again at the hottest sevens.
There's another young player I'm not seeing out there, young Fraser. Is he around for you again this season?
Yeah. Fraser's he's been back at training. He's up from Catherine doing his apprenticeship as a mechanic. So he's away for the next 2 weeks with work. He's out working remote, but keen and eager to get back into it. He won our Rising Star Award last year.
Certainly a very talented young player, and Very good size for his age as well on the flank.
Yeah, well, he...
Great
charge
covering
there,
tackle there from
well.
Zach Phillips. It was almost a certain
play
try
on.
for South.
Cougars have held on there. Great D. Yeah, young Fraser played first 15 for Churchy in Brisbane in year 11 and 12 at inside centre. So, yeah, he was a revelation at number 6 for South last year.
Certainly a very good pickup.
I think I've used that word twice now, revelation. Cougar scrum on their own line. Jake Ranger over on the far wing now. Back into B grade this week. He was unable to train and thought he might have been away with work today, but got back last night, so got himself a run in Bs and a bench spot in A's.
A solid run there from Shane Crowley off the back of the
Good run
scrum.
from Shane. He'll sleep well tonight.
He certainly will. We got another penalty here to Casuarina. They're certainly stacking up at this point in time. And sort of slightly undisciplined from South this evening.
Yeah, I'm sure Brad won't be too happy. I'm sure he's not too worried about the scoreboard. I'm sure he'd be more concerned about the penalty count. I'll just wait for him to text me through what that is.
Yeah, certainly plenty of room for improvement on the discipline front from South. And a lot of them in and around that ruck. And as you were saying, everyone very keen to try and pilfer the ball with the new ruck laws. It makes it very difficult once the ruck is formed to have your hands out.
Oh, welcome to Tim Atkinson watching in the UK. Tim currently doing his training to be a pilot for Jetstar.
Ooh.
I think he's got about a week or so to go before he comes back to his posting in Sydney. Timmy will be loving this free-flowing.
Oh, certainly would be a certified star flying a Jetstar flight, Tim.
The weasel.
Another knock-on in play here from Casuarina. Certainly a slower game in the second half, and some poor ball control from both teams. Ooh, very territory flat, I'll call that one. Territory flat. And great run from Abelli, and very solid one for a try. Very, very well. Watch that again. Brilliant step there from Abelli off his left foot to beat Cooper Seguiaro there and go in for his second try this evening, isn't it?
That's 3 now, Shep.
3 now for
Abelli.
He is a try-scoring machine. He is very talented in that aspect as a finisher.
Got one last week in A grade and got one in B grade. Had a little run around in B grade out at Palmerston. Souths did call a forfeit there. We didn't have a front row, and we had 3 or 4 A graders running around. So Abelli had a run and got himself a try, but he's been impressive tonight.
Certainly has, and off the back of a very impressive run in the Hotter Sevens as well.
Yeah, look, I thought Abelli was outstanding for Tabadamu. I thought Tabadamu were very unlucky against Aussie Development in the semi-final. A couple of calls went against them. They had a 14-0 lead, and then 3 yellow cards. It's hard to get through 14 minutes.
Yeah,
with
certainly
6
is.
players on the field for the majority of it, but they performed outstanding. Tabadamu.
Some very talented players, that's for sure.
And good to see Seta bring some local guys in. You know, Wisey from Uni Pirates and a couple of the South boys. It's good to see.
Conversion there from Wariri was successful, bringing the score now to 38 to South and Cougars 0. Cougars will be certainly hoping in the last 13 minutes to put some points on the board to save some face at least.
Joe will be looking for a finish to the game here, won't he? Keep the
most
patience, be solid, try and put some points on.
Yes, most definitely. They'll be look to play back to the structure and really develop that and try and save something out of the last 15 minutes of this game. And albeit the scoreline's done and dusted, but certainly plenty to learn for the rest of the boys. Another penalty there for Casuarina, for South not releasing in the ruck. Brings Casuarina down into a strong attacking position.
Super Rugby kicks off tonight, Shep. Who's your tip to win the Super Rugby comp this year? Kiwi teams are obviously going to be probably dominating the finals again.
Mate, very much so. I think all the New Zealand teams are unbelievable in how they can just keep delving into that talent pool year after year. And, super strong. Couldn't really give you a tip from certainly from an Australian point of view. I'm a supporter of the Brumbies, and I'm not sure how they'll fare this year, but the Reds under Brad Thorne are certainly set for a big improvement.
He's under pressure, isn't he? He's made a big call with Quade Cooper.
Oh, mate, personally, I think it's a great call. You set the example early and have the players all other players step up and conform to the regime you're trying to run.
Do you think it's a conspiracy that he might be trying to rattle the Wallaby setup?
Mate, who knows? Who knows?
Brad Thorne, he's a legend, that bloke.
Mate, one of the most successful careers going around. He's just success follows him with wherever he goes, whether it be league or union. To cross over and win World Cups on both sides of the fence, and then stepping into coaching as well is unbelievable.
I think he's won a European Cup as well, hasn't he?
I believe he has.
There's another penalty.
What about yourself? Who's your tip for the Super Rugby season?
Oh, look, you pick a name out of one of those New Zealand teams. I'm a Waratahs supporter. It's such a frustrating team to support, although they did win the flag a few years ago. I haven't seen much of the pre-season form, so I couldn't tell you which New Zealand team, but they're going to dominate and dominate well. Just watching some of the Brisbane Tens and just some of the new faces that have come over with the Highlanders and the Chiefs. It's just a rugby breeding ground, isn't it?
Oh, it certainly is. It's something that Australian rugby should aspire to, I believe, is to mimic the best, and there is none better in the world at the moment than New Zealand and their development and pathways into their national and even the ITM Cup, and then beyond into the Super Rugby as well. It's a fantastic setup, that's for sure.
Who's your tip in the NRL?
Mate, in the NRL, Parramatta will be strong, I think, again this year.
Yep, yeah. You're an Eels man?
I am an Eels man, to be quite honest.
Good man.
And, their talent, their form last year was and some new signings this year warrants it. Oh, great run there from Seguiara, great step.
Another penalty there.
Another penalty advantage to Casuarina.
My mate Jared Hayne looks like he's put his hand up to play for Fiji in the World Cup. I like that.
Mate, it'll be interesting. Oh, we have offside. I think that we have
There's
a
a
yellow
yellow.
card here.
So I think it's mandatory when the penalty count gets to 30 that someone gets a yellow card. So looks like Jake will give someone a yellow. Probably the captain.
Wow.
We need someone to get a yellow because it means someone will bring a carton on Tuesday.
Well, there you go. We see a yellow there for you.
Oh, Mr. Eric Johnson himself. David Boyle has been yellow carded and he will not come back. With 8 minutes to go. Souths are down to 14.
And the kick puts Casuarina into the strongest attacking position so far this half. With 8 minutes to go, they'd certainly like to see some points on the board here. Playing with danger down the blind side.
Going back to that Fijian World Cup team, Semi Radradra is another possibility. He's been playing 13 in France.
And what a superstar he is. He's blown French rugby away with his size and speed and overall talent. It's very hard to compete when you've got genetics like that, isn't it?
With their two big wingers, Nadolo and Tuisuva, and then Drua performing so well in the NRC. They'll be the Smokies, I reckon.
Certainly will be, and it is great to see the development of the Pacific Islands and getting some of those players more exposure into higher levels of rugby to take back and develop their national teams as well. I played a bit of rugby over in the UK and into France, and there's a very strong Fijian aspect in most of their teams over there, but they just don't seem to bring that talent home quite often enough.
Little chip there from their own try line, Vinnie Mann. Oh, he's offloaded off the ground, unfortunately.
Great pass there to Zach
Souths.
Phillips.
He's found Zach Phillips.
Ooh.
Cougars looking to put some points on here. Mitch Cole with a little chip. Billy Byrne with a fumble.
Oh, toed
Rubber
forward again
through.
by Mitch Cull.
Oh, Al Foster, has he kicked that dead?
That's a foot race. That's a try of Mitch Cull. No.
Not sure what's going on here. So South have kicked that dead from the field of play, so it'll be a scrum to Cougars. Tsunami balls again there, Shep.
Yeah, certainly. It's very unfortunate there from a Casuarina point of view. The ball won the race to the dead ball line in that instance. And Casuarina here with the scrum 5 metres out. And after that kick back from South.
It's been this will be a rare opportunity in the second half for Cougars. We haven't seen them down this end of the field.
No, that's exactly right. And don't be surprised if you see Casuarina look to go down the short side here. Or unleash the flying outside centre of Milky Phillips into the...
Seguiaro standing blind. I'd say they'll be looking for him if this scrum doesn't go all the way.
Well, there's a good initial drive from Casuarina. They're holding strong. They're looking
Cougars
to drive
looking
over.
for their first points. They're playing advantage.
And we have a
There's
try.
a try. Great scrum by Cougars.
Very good scrum there. We'll watch that one again. It was the best scrum of the evening, I believe, from Casuarina. It's South on the back foot. Right about here, we thought the momentum had stopped, and that was it. But another great push from Casuarina has driven it over the line.
South's breaking from the scrum. Jake playing advantage there, so dominant scrum there by Cougars. I'd say he might have Might have gone under the post there if they didn't score for a penalty try.
Jeremiah Ofamaoni there with the try for Casuarina. One of our pre-season pickups. He's a great player, a great game out in B grade for Casuarina. And the successful kick brings the score now to 38-7 with 3 minutes to go. See if Casuarina can't pick up another 7 points.
Looks like big Jack Lawrence leaving the field again for another rotation. Ref's called timeout there. No, Jack Lawrence coming back on.
And with regards to the substitutes, it's a rolling substitutes these days, and it's no longer that once the player's off, they're off.
Yeah, so for a few years now, each team can have up to 8 on the bench with 12 movements. Your bench is determined by how many front row reserves you've got. So if you've got 3 front row backups, you can have your full 8.
It's certainly seen a freer flowing and faster game as a result of that, I believe, with them, especially being able to move the front rows in and out, the bigger boys.
Yeah,
off
definitely.
The park.
Yep.
Big dummy there from Seguiara. Strong run. Ooh,
that's
high shot.
Looked high, looked around the shoulder, which there's Q racing up there, and here goes Cougars now, finishing
Tane.
strongly.
Oh.
It's a loose ball.
Loose ball on the
Billy
ground.
Burns kicked it, but it's gone out.
On the full.
And
It was
looks
a
like
promising phase of play for Casuarina.
so we're going to play a Cougars line out, and we've got about 90 seconds left. And Jack Lawrence coming off now. He was carrying looks like he's carrying a little wrist injury there. That'll be it for Jack. Fantastic effort. And South look like they're probably going to play short for the last minute. So down to 13 for the last 50 seconds. South pill for that. Ball goes wide to Vinnie Mann, who plugs it downfield.
Caught Jack Rochford out of position.
And that is a beautiful kick from the Frenchman. South's halfback last year.
Played well at 12 this evening.
He's a former French under-19s representative in the centres.
Certainly
back in his
very
day.
talented. Played with him in the Mozzies a couple of years ago, and he was playing at halfback, and very great delivery of the ball, and defensively very strong as well.
Cougars will look to clear here. Ball's not out. This could be the last play of the game. Dallas at fullback picks up, brings it across field, picks up a belly who slips, releases. Cougars pilfer and over, secure. They'll go down the short side.
Unleash the speed of Pete Ego there. It was a great run. Terrible pop off the ground. Nabele's got the ball. Very dangerous player. It's looking for number 4 this evening.
Hiramatsu backs up, flicks it out the side, knock on. Offside there, Souths. Offside. Tap and go, last play. There's no one out wide for Souths. Jordan Fazy. It's the last line of defence, and he's made the tackle. Great tackle, Jordan. Seguiara having a little dart.
Oh, unfortunately, he's knocked the ball on in that run.
There's another one.
Nabele again with the ball.
Another one for Gilbert. He's kicked it straight down. The belly has gone down injured in the last play of the game.
That's very unfortunate. Bello
A
there.
little collision there, I'd say, with his legs. South's run out winners 38 points to 7. That's us. Good work, Shep.
Thanks very much.
We'll do it again.
Great to have you all this evening, and hope you enjoyed this evening's coverage.
Give the commentators some feedback there, please. Social media land.
Yeah, certainly welcome your feedback on Facebook. Jump on and like and share away. It'd be great to see a few thousand likes across across all social media.
Till next week, where all the rugby is back out at Marara again. It's out at Rugby Park.
Bye.